folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Urshan, and this week we take a look back at the legendary, the immortal, the classic, The Exorcist. Written by William Peter Blatty and directed by William Friedkin, and starring Ellen Burstyn, Max von Sydow, Jason Miller, and Linda Blair as Regan, the young girl possessed by the demon spirit Pazuzu, which we find Father Merrin, played by Max von Sydow. He's off in Iraq, and he's kind of an archaeologist, like an Indiana Jones type, apparently he does on the side. And he finds hidden in this cave, this little statuette thing of some kind of gargoyle demon thing, and unknowingly releases the spirit Pazuzu, the demon spirit which inhabits the young Regan's body. This young, like, 14-year-old girl, played by Linda Blair. And so what happens throughout the film, we meet this young girl, Regan, and her mother, played by Ellen Burstyn. Both in amazing, Oscar-worthy performances, in my opinion. And they're just a normal, the mother's an actress in Hollywood, making movies, and they're just a normal family, and Regan's very typical young teenager, very nice, very pleasant, and but horror comes into their lives when things start happening. Like we see Regan sleeping in her bedroom, and it's very cold, and the windows are wide open, and after that happens, as things start getting weird, she starts acting strange, and has these weird psychological hallucinations, and so the mother, played by Ellen Burstyn, takes her to the hospital, and they run a whole gamut of tests, which ends up being some of the scariest scenes in the film, I feel, because the things that they do to this little girl, and it's brutal, like what they put her through on these huge machines, like injecting her with stuff, and the blood pouring out of her when they're taking the vials of the it's unbelievable, like what they put her through, because they run every test imaginable, every brain scan and every CAT scan and everything imaginable, to look inside her brain to see if there's some kind of lesion causing her to have these kind of psychotic breakdowns, and they find nothing. So they come to the conclusion that they feel that Regan needs a psychiatrist. But when they find out that doesn't work, things get even worse, and she starts really acting out, shouting various obscenities, and her language is extremely colorful, you might say. Some of the things that come out of this girl's mouth is like, damn, that's coming out of a 14-year-old girl's mouth? Ooh. You know, maybe she really is possessed. So Ellen Burstyn enlists the help of Father Karras, played by Jason Miller, who himself has gone through a lot of psychological issues. He's starting to have doubts and losing his faith, because his mother's dying, and she's starting to lose it, and he has her put in a nursing home, and she has a huge nervous breakdown, and she passes away, and that really gives him a hard time. So his faith in God at the moment is not really the best that it should be, being a father in the Catholic Church. But he does take to the mother, Ellen Burstyn, and they develop a relationship, and you can tell he does care about her, and he wants to help her, and he wants to help the young girl because he cares about her as well. And so they decide that they feel maybe the best way is to perform an ancient ritual called exorcism, which in the Catholic community is kind of cast off to the side. Nobody ever talks about it, and nobody ever practices it anymore. It's kind of an ancient thing that they used thousands of years ago. But they feel in this case that it's really the only thing that can help Regan. Now, whether Father Karras actually believes it or not that Regan is possessed, I think he starts believing it. Because when he starts visiting Regan in her room, in her bedroom, and hearing the foul, disgusting things that she says, and looking at her face all torn up, and the amazing makeup, by the way, in this film. Like, the makeup effects are probably the best I've ever seen, and some of the most ghastly, ghostly makeup effects on Regan's face. It's just terrifying, and all the different voices that she has like 1,000 different voices almost coming out at once. And it really sounds like a demon possessed, like what you would picture a demon possessing a young girl would be. And it's incredibly believable and realistic the way they do it, and the way they show the film. And when the priests go into the room, it's extremely cold, and you can see their cold breath, and it's like really cool. And we also see as the film progresses that the demon really starts to take over Regan's body, like, completely, and it just becomes the demon that they're talking to. How Father Karras starts to believe that maybe she is possessed, because Regan knows about what happened to the priest, Father Karras' mother. So he starts taunting him with that and start driving him nuts, like, oh yeah, there's something going on with this girl. And she starts talking in his mother's voice, like using her voice, and really trying to push his buttons and trying to drive him crazy to make him go away. But he's not going to go away. And since he doesn't have any experience in the exorcism area, he calls upon the help of Father Merrin, played by Max von Sydow, who we met in the beginning, who kind of unknowingly released the spirit, the demon Pazuzu, through that little statue in Iraq in the beginning. And he does have experience with exorcism. He had dealt with an issue in the past with someone that was possessed before. So he has the experience, and he has the knowledge and the know-how to perform this ritual. So he gets together with Father Karras, and they team up. They tag team like a tag team wrestling match. They team up to take on the demon, and to drive this demon away from the young girl's body, played by Linda Blair excellently, I must say. How she didn't win an Oscar, I don't know, but Linda Blair deserved an Oscar for this performance, damn it. Because she's amazing. And I like Linda Blair, anyway. But, and so they begin the ritual, they use all the passages from the Bible, and they drive out the demon spirit. Or so they think. But so it ends up being a lot harder than they thought, because this demon is extremely powerful. And the demon can move things with her mind, you know, just like the devil. She's actually claims to be the devil himself. And that's another thing that Father Karras says. And he has a funny line where he says, that's the same as saying I'm Napoleon Bonaparte himself. And that's how pretty much nobody believes her, you know. Nobody believes the mother when she tells everybody that she feels that Regan's possessed, and it just sounds ridiculous, but it's not, because she is. And some extremely disturbing scenes, such as when she masturbates with a crucifix. She's like, and you see the blood, and it's horrifying. Another awesome effect is when they show Regan in the bed, and she's got her back turned to the mother, and she turns her head straight around completely 360 style, but it looks so real and so freaking freaky. And there is a good reason that this movie is called the scariest movie of all time. And that's very hard to argue because it's pretty damn scary. And let me tell you, it holds up to this day brilliantly. It's absolutely perfect, and it's so well shot and so realistic. It's just amazing. And so many films today have tried to copy that. A lot of exorcism type films and trying to cash in on the success of Exorcist. And they're completely inferior. And no matter how hard they try, and they do try hard, they can never match the power of this film. So, run and buy The Exorcist if you have not already done so. Get this excellent Blu-ray. And this is the version that you've never seen on there because they added in a few scenes that had been previously cut, like the spider walk when Regan walks backwards down the stairs. It's really sick. It's kind of a nice addition to the film. But if you want to see amazing performances and a very truly powerful horror film, look no further than The Exorcist, written by William Peter Blatty and directed by William Friedkin, starring the great Linda Blair, Ellen Burstyn, Jason Miller, and Max von Sydow, and amazing, excellent, Oscar-worthy performances. Run and get The Exorcist now. And thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Urshan, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared. Folks, don't forget to grab your Sean Patrick Urshan gear and represent the Horror Corner. Also, check out these awesome mugs we have, perfect for your coffee. And definitely check out the Horror Hangout live stream t-shirt and represent the legacy of the Horror Hangout. Check out the link in the description below this video.